match made in heaven. What is the meaning? Meaning of that is God has established that relationship, match made in heaven. So these are the areas you find in and around Israel. What are they? West Bank. Many times you have seen. What is Tel Aviv? Tel Aviv is capital of Israel. Golan Heights we have seen. Mediterranean Sea, Syria. Where is Dead Sea? What is Dead Sea? Dead Sea? South? What is it? What is the meaning of a Dead Sea? It is saline. Dead Sea is more saline. No flow of water. No organisms can live over there. Okay, Dead Sea. Egypt, Saudi Arabia, these are the nations. You have two organizations, as I told you. Hamas is one organization. Hamas, the meaning of Hamas is zeal. It is Islamic resistance against occupation of Palestine by Israel. They consider it as occupation. Israel consider, or Jews consider Arabian, it has Arab occupation of the territory that consider themselves as Israel, for themselves as Israel. So Palestinian armed group Hamas takes its name from Arabic acronym, that is Islamic resistance movement against Israeli occupation. That is what Hamas means. Hamas means zeal. Jihad means something, Hamas means something. Like that, Arabic words have some meaning, and that is the organization of Hamas. Its roots trace back to 1970s when activists established charities, clinics. Initially, it was a charity organization. Later, it has participated in politics also. But because of its human rights violative activities, use of arms and ammunition, it was announced as a international terrorist organization by UPSC and other nations in the United Nations. So Hamas entered politics in 2005 as well. Finally, it was today both the European Union and the United States classify Hamas as a terrorist organization, while others see it as a resistance movement. For themselves, they consider it as a resistance movement. What is this Hezbollah? Hezbollah is one other organization that has emerged in Lebanon, armed resistance against the Israeli occupation of Lebanon. Okay, if at all Israel feels that the neighbor is supporting Palestinian cause, it will occupy those territories. In that context, it has occupied some territories of Lebanon as well. Against this Israeli occupation, one organization has emerged from Lebanon that is being called as Hezbollah. It was in 1982 a group of Shiite Muslims took up arms against the Israeli occupation of Lebanon, that is being called as militia group has emerged, which is called as Hezbollah. Iran and Islamic Revolutionary Guards of Iran have supported this Hezbollah, because anything against Israel, obviously it becomes friends of Arab world. Any nation against Israel, they are friends to Arab world. Iran wants what? Iran wants to be a leader of Islamic world. Okay, it has supported Hezbollah. Hezbollah earned reputation for extremist militant organization, vital asset to Iran whenever any sort of misadventure by Israel happens in the Palestinian territories. Hezbollah was only militia allowed to keep its arms in 1989 Taif agreement. That is not necessary, but we need to know what it is, what Hezbollah is. So when this Israel has occupied southern Lebanon in 1978, it has occupied southern part of Lebanon, and in 1982, to remove these Palestinian guerrilla fighters who are hiding in Lebanon. That was the reason why Israel has come up with as a probable reason to occupy southern regions of Lebanon, where these southern parts were being used as hideouts by the Palestinian militant groups, Hamas mainly. So these events have heightened the geopolitical tensions in the region. So now you have got minimum basic idea of how Israel and Palestine conflict goes and what is the sort of relationship that India has over a period of time with Israel. It was in 1992, full-fledged diplomatic relations. Again, you observe there, Vajpayee taking some steps to initiate cooperation. 1986, once president of Israel has visited. Again in 2016, they visited. Again in 2003, Prime Minister visited Ariel Sharon. 2017, Prime Minister Modi visit and reciprocated by Benjamin Netanyahu in 2018. Various agreements during this 2017 itself are cooperation in multiple dimensions, starting from trade, defense, agriculture, water security, people to people ties, cultural aspects. All these things have expanded in such a manner that we have never seen such sort of expansion before 2017. So 2017 and 18 are important. Coming to ties with Israel in 2000s, it were expanded to areas beyond agriculture, water. Beyond agriculture and defense and water, we have expanded that to internal security matters. That is called as homeland security. Internal security includes intelligence sharing, practices of police fight against civilian issues. Okay, they come on police modernization. All this comes under homeland security. USA has homeland security department similar to what India has as Home Ministry, Minister for Home Affairs, internal security. Okay. So homeland security, cyber security and new technologies import, all these things are the new areas. During UPA regime, several ministers visited Israel, including Foreign Minister S.M. Krishna. UPA government pursued ties with Israel with same vigor as A.B. Vajpayee or the P.V. Narasimha Rao. You observe here, 2015, President of India visited, we have missed it. President of India, Pranab Mukherjee visited Israel in 2015, before Prime Minister has visited in 2017. Modi meets his Israeli counterpart on the sidelines of United Nations Organization Summit, before this happened, and full-fledged summit. Government host Palestinian President in 2016. 2017, you observe, visit by India and Israel counterparts. This is before 2015, Modi meeting at the United Nations Summit. This is in 2015. This was in 2016, visit of President of Israel. Again 2017. After that 2018. These were the bilateral visits we had. Recently also Economist Minister in 2000, Economic Affairs Minister of Israel 2024 has visited. Like that, though high-level political visits by heads of the government are not there, continuously one or the other sort of representative keeps on visiting India, and India also reciprocates the same by visiting Israel continuously. So this is how it has happened with respect to high-level political visits from India to Israel, India reciprocating that with visiting Israel as well. So what are the areas, if you observe here, what are the areas of cooperation? Some areas, just for one idea: cyber security, medicine, that is pharma, energy, space industry. Example, RESAT. RESAT was one satellite Israel and Israel and India are using. Air transportation facilities, like that. Example. So we'll go through the areas of cooperation after completing this. I'll show you the images later. So both the nations have attained independence. Within days gap, they have attained independence. But if you take the foreign policy trajectories of both the nations, they were diverged. The foreign policies of both the nations are diverged. For nearly 4 decades, we were not cooperating at all, starting from the year 1940 to 1947 to 1991. 4 decades our relationship was diverged. Our agendas were divergent. India was to an extent against Israel occupation, as we have taken a stance supporting Palestinian Liberation Organization headed by Yasser Arafat. We stood for Palestinian cause, and as we are more closer towards some nations like Iran for energy security, Israel also looked at India with a doubt, with some surmise and doubt. Okay, in that context, our relations were not full-fledged until 1992. So coming to the historical background, we have already discussed. Not 1947, what has happened? 1947, you can say migration. India voted against. This is what? Partition plan. Partition plan, what is the opinion of India on partition plan? UK led partition plan. 1950, what has happened? Immigration office opened. Later that became a consulate. Where was it opened? Bombay. 1950, India has formal recognition of Israel. This is simplified history. By going through this, we can recollect all the things that we have discussed. Formal recognition of Israel by India. In 1950, 2 things have happened. Later it became Consulate, which was started as immigration office. Again in 1950, formal recognition of existence of one territory called as Israel has happened. And Israel backed India in 1953. Israel became a key pillar and it backed India with respect to India-Pak conflicts. Because we know that Israel knows that India is against Pakistan and we are against any nation who is supporting Pakistan. Arab world has started supporting Pakistan initially. That was the reason why we were not part of OIC. Even though we were invited to the meeting, Pakistan said that I will walk out if you allow India to be part of this Organization for Islamic Cooperation meeting. Arab world this Organization for Islamic Cooperation has released a lot of statements, resolutions passed against India with respect to India-Pakistan conflict. That was the reason why Israel was initially supporting India in terms of giving military support when it came to Israel-Palestine conflict. Sorry, India-Pakistan conflict. Next, 1971, what has happened? Bangladesh Liberation War. Israel supported to India with arms. Military support, you can say. Arms and ammunition during Indo-Pak War. 1992, you have to tell me. 1992. Yes. Done with this? What is this? Israel giving support to arms and ammunition. Arms and ammunition. 1971, you have to understand. That is war period and support to India by Israel. Arms and ammunition. 1992 diplomatic relations. There is no need to write here. Diplomatic relations. Full-fledged diplomatic relations. Coming to 2021, we have discussed what has happened between 2005 and all. Right away coming to 2021, one organization came into existence, that is I2U2. It includes India, Israel, and two more nations, two U's, USA, UAE. This is the organization called as regional grouping, you say I2U2, for military cooperation, for defense security cooperation, intelligence sharing and all. I2U2 was formed, all these four are members. 2023, how many years of diplomatic relations? 2023. By 2022, we have completed this 30 years diplomatic relations. 2023 can be identified as 30 years of our journey with Israel. Okay? That is the reason why we have signed a MOU in 23, MOU on industrial research, industrial cooperation, you can say, industrial research and development cooperation. Industrial research and development cooperation. 2020. What has happened in 2024? Instability, conflict between Hamas and Israel, and the stance of India. I have discussed the stance of India in 3 dimensions. Okay. First element of the stance of India. Done with this 2023. Coming to 2024, India has come up with its own response against Israel-Palestine conflict because of the adventures of both Israel and Hamas. It can be understood through 3 dimensions. What are those 3 dimensions? First thing is ceasefire we wanted. We have announced that both the nations should not exchange fire. De-escalation of the tensions that we wanted. Second aspect is civilian protection. Third aspect of that is advisory to Indians. Advisory to Indians not to enter these conflicting regions for time being until the peace is established. These are the 3 dimensions India was preaching. So restraint and protection of civil. Restraint is the first thing, ceasefire or restraint you say, and civilian protection is the second thing. Third one is with respect to Indian citizens, advisory was released. Done with that. This is simplified history. Lot of years are skipped in between. Major years are identified. You can understand from this what has happened at what point of time. Those who haven't written, they can fill the pages. 1947, Partition of India. So partition plan of Israel and Palestine administered by UK. 50. Immigration office, later trade office, later consulate office in Bombay. It has got expanded to various other cities also. 1950. Formal recognition of Israel by India. 1953. Israel backed India-Pakistan with respect to India-Pakistan conflicts that was manifested through Israel's support to India during Bangladesh Liberation War while giving arms and ammunition. 1992, full diplomatic relations. 2021, India and Israel, UAE and USA came up with this alliance I2. U2 2023, MOU on Industrial Research and Development Cooperation. 2024, India's response to Israel-Palestine conflict, that is third Intifada, which has emerged. Okay. Next, coming to the areas of cooperation. What are the areas of cooperation between India and Israel? First priority should be given to what? In priority, we should start with the defense sector. So one would be defense. We have to an extent discussed what are the areas of cooperation, dimensions in defense and security you can add here. Security. Okay. So coming to defense, one thing I have to write here is, first point is third largest exporter of arms to India. On the other hand, 41% of industry exports to India only. Industry of Israel. Okay. You can say Israeli main destination, export destination is India. Okay, we also see regular exchanges of armed forces and defense personnel, continuous exchange, which is a normal thing. I won't write it here. So defense personnel and armed personnel exchange, it continuously happens for sharing of best practices. Defense personnel, we keep on sharing defense personnel. Army exchanges. Okay, that is the third aspect.